And it was in that extraordinary civilization that the name still sending shivers through humanity was born. Anunnaki, literally offspring of the celestial royalty, or in a more direct translation, progeny of the Prince on high. More than 5,000 years ago, on the banks of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, a civilization dared to look up at the sky and ask, where do we come from? The Sumerians were not naive. They invented writing, created the first legal codes, developed mathematics, and built the first ziggurats that reached toward the clouds. In the clay tablets excavated from ancient Mesopotamia, the Anunnaki appear as the most powerful gods of the Sumerian pantheon, children of Anu, the supreme god of the sky, and Ki, the goddess of the earth. According to Akkadian texts, preserved in museums around the world, among the most important Anunnaki were Enlil, god of air and head of the pantheon, Enki, god of wisdom and waters, and Inanna, goddess of love and war. In the work Enki and the World Order, the Anunnaki pay homage to Enki and decree the destinies of humanity, a function that crossed millennia and still fuels theories about the hidden control of civilization. The oldest text mentioning the Anunnaki as a group dates to the period of Gudea of Lagash, around 2144 BC, revealing that these beings were already venerated as supreme deities more than 4,000 years ago. In 1976, a man named Zecharia Sitchin forever changed how the modern world would interpret these texts when he published The 12th Planet, a work of enormous cultural impact. Sitchin claimed the Anunnaki were an advanced extraterrestrial race, originating from a planet called Nibiru, which had arrived on Earth approximately 500,000 years ago in search of gold. According to his controversial interpretation, these beings found Homo erectus, performed sophisticated genetic manipulation, and thus created Homo sapiens as a race of mining servants. Scholars such as Michael Heiser, a specialist in Near Eastern languages, reviewed Sitchin's translations and identified systematic errors in his reading of cuneiform texts, academically dismantling the theory. No Sumerian tablet, according to mainstream archaeology, makes explicit reference to spaceships, interplanetary travel, or extraterrestrial genetic engineering laboratories. Yet something intriguing remains. How did a civilization that emerged seemingly from nowhere between 5,500 and 4,000 BC manage to develop astronomy, mathematics, architecture, and social organization so rapidly? The Sumerians themselves categorically stated that their knowledge came from gods who descended from the sky, from the Anunnaki, and that it was the Abgal, the 7 sages sent by Enki, who taught all the arts of civilization. Sumerian cylinder seals show figures with enigmatic appearances, wearing what some interpret as helmets and equipment. Archaeology classifies these as symbolic and ritual representations. The so-called Nineveh planisphere, a clay disk recording complex celestial movements, puzzled astronomers for decades, raising questions about how that civilization could have mapped the skies with such precision. Fascinating or not, the Sumerian question remains open. And this is where the universe must be summoned into the debate, because its vastness makes any definitive answer premature. The universe is 13,800 billion years old. In that immeasurable time, billions of galaxies formed, each containing hundreds of billions of stars orbiting within their own systems. The Milky Way alone contains between 200 and 400 billion stars. Planets orbit many of them. The question of extraterrestrial life, in this context, ceases to be philosophical and becomes statistical. The Kepler telescope identified more than 2,700 confirmed exoplanets before concluding its operations, and its successor TESS continued the mapping, covering previously unexplored regions. In 2025, the James Webb, the most powerful space observatory ever built, operating 1.5 million kilometers from Earth, began sniffing the atmospheres of distant worlds with unprecedented precision in the history of science. The planet K218b, located 124 light-years from Earth in the constellation Leo, became the object of enormous scientific attention after the detection of methane and carbon dioxide in its atmosphere. In April 2025, scientists identified signals of dimethyl sulfide and dimethyl disulfide in K218b, with a confidence level of 99.7%, compounds that on Earth are associated exclusively with marine biological activity. The concentrations detected were thousands of times higher than those found in Earth's atmosphere, leaving the scientific community in a state of heightened attention while demanding additional rigorous confirmation. The planet LHS 1140b consolidated itself in 2025 as one of the most promising candidates to possess liquid water, with data indicating the possibility of an open ocean on its star-facing side. The TRAPPIST-1 system, with its 7 rocky Earth-sized planets, continues to be a natural cosmic laboratory. James Webb revealed that inner planets lost much of their atmospheres, but outer ones remain candidates. These real data, gathered by verifiable scientific instruments, are infinitely more thrilling than any unverified theory about astronaut gods piloting golden ships over Nin. And yet we return to the provocative question: if life can exist on K218b, if there are billions of potentially habitable planets, why would it be impossible that very ancient civilizations once visited Earth? This is where the Pleiadians enter the scene, as the modern and spiritualized version of that cosmic possibility. Described not in clay tablets, but in meetings, channeling sessions, and controversial photographs. In ufology, the Pleiadians, also called Nordic aliens, are humanoid extraterrestrials described as tall beings with fair skin, blonde hair, and blue eyes, originating from the Pleiades star cluster. The Pleiades are approximately 440 light-years from Earth, in the constellation Taurus, and their open cluster contains hundreds of young stars, only about 100 million years old. The central figure of modern Pleiadian mythology is Edward Billy Maya, a Swiss man born in 1937, who claimed his first contact with an extraterrestrial named Sfath occurred when he was just 5 years old, in 1942. According to Maya, the contact ceased in 1964 and resumed in January 1975, when a Pleiadian named Semjase chose him as the messenger of a mission to spiritually guide humanity. Between 1975 and 1981, Maya produced 1,476 photographs and 34 films allegedly showing Pleiadian spacecraft flying over Swiss countryside, images that became iconic in global UFO culture. One of Maya's photographs even appeared as the poster in Agent Fox Mulder's office in the TV series The X-Files, becoming a cultural symbol of the human desire to believe in extraterrestrial contact. Investigations by skeptics identified several documented frauds, including a photograph of extraterrestrials proven to be an image of dancers from the Dean Martin show, and dinosaur illustrations used as photos of time travel. Cal Korff, a UFO investigator, and other researchers concluded that Maya's records were miniature models, photographed using forced perspective techniques, providing evidence of deliberate image manipulation. From an astronomical standpoint, the Pleiadian theory faces concrete obstacles. The stars of the Pleiades are only 100 million years old, insufficient time for complex life to emerge, which on Earth took more than 3 billion years. George Adamski considered the pioneer of Nordic contact reports, described encounters with Scandinavian-looking extraterrestrials as early as the 1950s, initiating a tradition of accounts that shaped Western ufology for decades. In contemporary spiritualists' culture, the Pleiadians are seen as benevolent cosmic teachers, guardians of the Akashic records, working for planetary healing and the spiritual awakening of humanity. Skeptics and psychologists argue that these accounts are manifestations of the collective unconscious, symbolic constructions expressing the human desire not to be alone and to be guided by a benevolent superior intelligence. If the Pleiadians represent the luminous side of contemporary extraterrestrial mythology, the Reptilians occupy the opposite pole, acting as the villains of one of the most popular and disturbing conspiracy theories in the modern world. The Reptilians, also called Draconians, Saurians, or Reptides, are supposed humanoids with reptilian characteristics who, according to conspiracy theories, secretly control governments and institutions around the planet. The idea of reptilian humanoids has ancient roots. In Sumerian mythology, Enki was sometimes depicted with serpentine traits. Hindu Nagas were reptilian beings living underground. The Aztec Quetzalcoatl was a feathered serpent. The first literary appearance of snake men in the modern sense was in the story The Shadow Kingdom, published in Weird Tales magazine in August 1929, written by Robert E. Howard, the creator of Conan. Professor Michael Bartkin from Syracuse University traced the direct genealogy of the contemporary reptilian theory from Howard's fiction through the theosophist Doriel, and finally to David Icke, revealing its fictional origins. David Icke, a former British television presenter, published in 1998, The Biggest Secret, a work claiming that reptilian humanoids from the constellation Draco had controlled Earth for hundreds of thousands of years, According to Ike, these beings would have the ability to alter their physical form to disguise themselves as humans, occupying positions of power in governments, banks, armies, and the world's largest corporations. An American survey conducted in 2013 by Public Policy polling revealed that 4% of registered voters in the United States believed in Ike's theories about reptilians in power. Ike's theories found supporters in 47 countries, and he has spoken before crowds of up to 6,000 people, revealing the scale of cultural reach of these global conspiracy narratives. From a scientific standpoint, the idea of complete metamorphosis between species violates the fundamental principles of cellular biology and molecular genetics. Instantaneous alterations of bone structure and body mass are physically impossible. Geneticists point out that anatomical characteristics are determined by complex and coordinated gene expressions that cannot be reversed or altered within seconds, as would be required for the reptilian disguise to function. Academic critics identified troubling elements in the reptilian theory, including parallels with old discriminatory narratives that attributed non-human characteristics to specific ethnic or socioeconomic groups. In 2020, David Icke's YouTube channel, with more than 1 million subscribers, was removed by the platform after the spread of misinformation about the COVID-19 pandemic, linking the virus to the expansion of 5G networks. It is impossible to evaluate the reptilians without recognizing that conspiracy theories, when popularized without critical filters, have real consequences in the world, fueling paranoia, social division, and rejection of scientific thinking. So where does science stand in the face of all this? Not in simplistic denial, but in the demand for evidence proportional to the magnitude of the claims, a principle that astronomers and biologists apply with rigor. The possibility of extraterrestrial life is taken with the utmost seriousness by the scientific community. Astrobiology is an established discipline that explores extreme environments on Earth and conditions on other celestial bodies. Europa, Jupiter's moon, has a liquid underground ocean kept warm by tidal forces, with organic compounds identified by the Galileo and Cassini probes. The Europa Clipper mission, launched in 2024, will investigate it. Enceladus, Saturn's moon, expels plumes of water vapor from its south pole, containing molecular hydrogen and organic compounds, indicating active hydrothermal activity that on Earth would sustain entire ecosystems of organisms. Mars preserved evidence of liquid water in the past, and the Perseverance rover collects rock samples to be returned to Earth in future missions. In a search that may reveal signs of ancient microbial life, the SETI program has monitored radio frequencies from deep space since 1960. The famous WOW signal of 1977 remains without a consensual explanation, but no signal has been confirmed as originating from extraterrestrial intelligence. The James Webb Telescope, in 2025, analyzed the atmosphere of exoplanet TOI 561b and found evidence of a thick atmosphere even under conditions scientists had considered impossible, revealing that rocky planets are more resilient than assumed. Webb data on exoplanet LHS 1140b suggests the existence of an eyeball world where one side is covered in ice and the other sustains an open liquid ocean, generating enormous international astrobiological interest. The TESS mission continued in 2025, mapping previously unexplored regions of the sky, providing new targets for the Webb and paving the way for next-generation telescopes like the extremely large telescope under construction in Chile. Artificial intelligence now assists astronomers in identifying patterns across billions of data points collected by telescopes, dramatically accelerating the speed at which candidates for habitable worlds are found and classified. In light of all this, what remains of the narratives about Anunnaki, Pleiadians, and Reptilians? What always remains in every human mythology? The reflection of questions we still cannot fully answer. The Anunnaki are the mirror of Sumerian humanity, which, upon raising its eyes to the stars and finding no explanation for its own existence, projected onto the heavens the origin of its greatness and its servitude. The Pleiadians are the mirror of modern humanity, which, in a fragmented world without clear spiritual meaning, longs to be visited by benevolent beings bearing messages of love, evolution, and cosmic belonging. The Reptilians are the mirror of humanity which, faced with opaque and unjust power systems it cannot understand or control, resorts to the figure of the hidden, non-human enemy to explain the inexplicable. Science was not born to destroy these mirrors. It was born to replace them with something even more extraordinary. verifiable reality, which surpasses in beauty and complexity any myth ever created. The atoms forming our bodies were synthesized inside massive stars that exploded in supernova billions of years before the sun existed. We are literally, materially, children of the stars. When the James Webb Telescope points toward deep space, it is not merely searching for other worlds. It is looking into the universe's past, capturing light emitted billions of years before Earth existed. Every photon captured by the Webb traveled unimaginable distances to reach the observatory's golden mirror. Each image is a real journey through time, verifiable, measurable, requiring no fiction whatsoever. This is the moral the universe offers us with generosity. We do not need to invent astronaut gods to be extraordinary, for we are already the universe contemplating its own existence through conscious eyes, seeking answers with honesty, even when the answers are uncertain, even when they take decades, is the greatest act of courage the human species can practice before the infinite mystery of the cosmos. To believe without questioning is human. To question without stopping is evolution. And the difference between the two defines not only what we know, but who we become as a civilization before the stars that created us.